Hello, my name is Yoon Chung and I'm a senior solution engineer. I'd like to show how you can automate asset master changes in SAP. In this session, we'll be reviewing the top 10 use cases in finance, a demonstration of our Studio product, and you'll get to see the authoring experience as well as a business user experience, some potential savings and other opportunities for automation, where you can find sample templates, and we'll end with a summary. Here are the top 10 automations in finance among our customers. As you can see, you can manage both your master data as well as your transactional data. For asset change, customers experienced 94% time savings and an average of 361 days saved. Asset change in SAP involves multiple screens, button clicks, and several fields. Using Studio, you can automate those manual SAP steps and provide your business users a simple Excel template. This helps those users quickly manage large volumes of data with minimal effort. Studio includes three modules for building your solutions. Transaction is used for recording and automating SAP transaction codes. Query is used for extracting data from SAP tables, and Direct has the ability to use BAPIs or remote-enabled function modules. For this demonstration, we'll be focusing on transaction. The authoring experience can be summed up in three simple steps. First, you record the SAP transaction steps to capture the screens and the fields for automation. Then, you get to map those SAP fields to your Excel template. And finally, it's ready to run. Let's jump over to Studio and see it in action. So now that we have Studio opened, we're going to select Transaction and start a new recording. I first need to log into SAP. In this case, I'm going to log into our non-production SAP environment and use my credentials to log in. We actually inherit your SAP authorizations, therefore you can't do anything with WindShuttle that you don't have authorization for in SAP already. Next, we enter our transaction code to be recorded and start record. Now it's checking my authorizations, and then in a moment I'll see SAP pop up here. Great. So now I can start to walk through the steps that I want to record. And I'm just going to enter some of the fields that I want to include in the recording. In this example, I want the ability to update the description. And so all I really need to do is touch the fields that I want to include in the recording. And I'll just go through and select a couple of fields. I can also tab over into the other screens here. We also want the ability to update the cost center. So let me go ahead and do that. And then once we are finished with the recording, I can go ahead and click save. And that will end the recording and complete my script. Now that I've finished the recording, it will now take me to the next step, which is mapping those fields to create my template. So now this is the mapper screen. You can kind of see here all of the fields that we have interacted with up here on the top portion of the screen, and the bottom portion represents the template that we want to create. During the recording, we are automatically identifying the SAP description, technical name, the type and length, as well as the value that we used. The mapping process is a drag and drop process, is one of the ways you can do it. So we can go ahead and select one of the columns and map it to one of the fields. You can really do this in any order that you'd like. We also offer the ability to auto map, and that will just automatically map all the fields and quickly create our template for us. And there are a lot more functionality and things that you can do, but for today's demonstration, we'll just go ahead and proceed. So after the mapping is complete, I can then populate this data, populate the sheet with data, and start to test. You'll see that I have different options for testing and running this. After I complete it, I can go ahead and publish, use the publishing option to then share this with our business user. That concludes the authoring experience. Building a script is quick and easy enough that it can be managed by any of your SAP super users or power users. Now that we created our automation script, let's see the business user experience. Business users can easily manage their data within Excel. In this example, we'll be updating the asset description, the inventory number, inventory date, as well as the inventory note fields. There are a lot more fields that can be updated with this template. And we don't want to upload blank values to SAP, so every template includes the option for skip field indicators. In this case, anything with a blank value will not be processed. Users interact with SAP through an Excel add-in. I'm already logged in to SAP from the previous demo. And as a reminder, Windchill inherits your SAP authorization and checks if you have access to perform the transaction. The first thing I'd like to do is validate the data against SAP. This allows me to quickly identify errors before committing any changes in SAP. And if errors are found, you'll see a message in the log column. Now I included some errors in here just so you can kind of see the messages, and you'll notice that the error messages are the same ones you encounter in SAP. We found some errors here, so let's go review and correct them. For this first error, I have the record open in another window, so I'll go ahead and log out of that and close it. For the second one, the company code doesn't exist. In case you want to search SAP, you can use this lookup values button, and it will bring up a search of SAP. I'll go ahead and find the company code that I want, and I'll be prompted to overwrite the cell, and you'll see that it enters that value there. Now for the third error here, it's saying that the asset does not exist, and I'm just going to correct the company code here directly, and that should fix that error. Now I'll do another validation run where it's just going to process on those rows that errored out. And this way, I just want to confirm if there are any more errors that are found, or if these are the only errors on those rows. And you'll see the validation rerunning on just those rows, and now we have all success. So now I'll go ahead and run this. And what this will do is now save those changes in SAP using ASO2. Now, as it's running, it's also doing that validation step that we did before, but it's going to validate the data and save if no errors are found. And all these changes, you'll see the log confirming the changes, and that concludes this demonstration. Now that you've seen that end user experience demonstration, it's clear to see that the benefits for your users is having that speed and agility to get their job done. They can easily update multiple records in a single Excel sheet. By having SAP validations built in and seeing that instant feedback in the log messages, users can quickly identify those errors and correct them. And you also have the ability of looking up values directly from SAP, all from Excel. Here are some other asset-related transactions automated by our customers. Asset change is the most popular use case with over 10 million records uploaded and almost 20,000 days saved in 1 year. There are many opportunities to further automate your asset processes. For example, you can perform a round trip where you extract the data live from SAP, make the changes in Excel, and then upload that data to SAP. You can also use it to create assets for any retiring, scrapping, or selling of the assets, and any financial postings against assets like adjustments or unplanned depreciation. You can also consider using our Evolve platform for server-side job scheduling and process automation, where you can deploy web forms and workflows to collect, validate, and approve the data prior to loading to SAP. Visit our community site to find pre-made templates for popular use cases, like the one you saw today. You can also communicate with other customers across the globe and across industries, access our e-learning and training sessions, and earn badges for contributing to the community.